This is the moment a U.S. Navy SEAL mag dumped an al-Shabaab fighter during a raid in Somalia, but what happened seconds after this shot is what turned the entire mission into a firefight. Because immediately after dropping the target, the team starts taking fire from multiple directions, and now they're pinned down deep behind enemy lines and will have to fight through hell to make it out alive. Within seconds, a DevGru operator goes down hard. His name was Kyle Milliken, and what happened next would become the deadliest U.S. combat operation in Somalia in over 2 decades. In 2017, what U.S. intelligence started seeing in Somalia changed the mission entirely. Al-Shabaab wasn't just surviving anymore, they were evolving. They were no longer just a regional insurgency, they were becoming something global, with suicide bombings in Mogadishu, cross-border attacks into Kenya, foreign fighters moving in and out of the region, and behind it all was a network quietly expanding. U.S. Africa Command responded the only way it could, not with large troop deployments, but with small, highly trained teams from DevGru and Delta. In May of 2017, one of their operations was about to go sideways fast. The intelligence looked solid, a senior al-Shabaab facilitator linked to explosives, foreign fighters, and external attack planning. He was held up in a compound deep in the Bari region of Somalia, isolated, hardened, and heavily defended. Their plan of attack was simple: insert by helicopter, move fast, hit hard, get out. But there was one big problem. They didn't have full visibility. Cloud cover blocked ISR overhead. So they had no real-time overwatch and no clear picture of what was waiting for them inside the compound. Kyle Milliken was the lead operator on board the lead attack helicopter, and just before 2 a.m., they moved in. The moment they stepped off the aircraft, something felt off. They began rushing towards the compound low and fast. At about 200 meters out, gunfire erupted. Accurate and controlled. This wasn't a reaction, it was an ambush. Rounds cut across the formation. The Navy SEALs dropped, returned fire, and started bounding to cover, but they were exposed. Kyle Milliken was near the front, moving with the point element when the ambush hit full force. In the opening seconds, he was hit. The team shifted immediately, laying down suppressive fire so the medic could move forward. But the enemy wasn't just in one position, they were everywhere. Fighters inside the compound, on rooftops, and along exterior walls. This wasn't just a firefight, it was a kill zone. The team tried desperately to maneuver, but every movement just drew more enemy fire. A second element attempted to flank, but they were met with heavy resistance. One of the Somali commandos working alongside the Navy SEALs pushed forward and tossed a grenade through a window. The grenade landed right next to an enemy PKM machine gun nest, shredding the al-Shabaab fighters. But Kyle was still down, unconscious, and bleeding heavily. The team had a difficult decision to make: stay and continue to push forward closer to the compound, or get out while they still can. They chose to extract. The call went out, and in an instant, evac birds were inbound. But the landing zone had to be secured under fire. Operators lifted Kyle, stripped his gear, and started moving, rounds still cracking past them. They laid down all the suppressing fire they could muster, and the helicopters touched down hard. They loaded him in, no words, just movement. The doors slammed, and the aircraft lifted into the night. Inside the aircraft, the medics worked non-stop. Oxygen, IVs, chest seals, every second mattered. His pulse was fading, blood pressure dropping. They pushed for a forward surgical site, the best option available, but it wasn't enough. Kyle Milliken was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. 38 years old, 15 years in the teams, a father, a husband, a leader. But the fighting wasn't over yet. Most of the team hadn't loaded up on the evac helicopters. Instead, they stayed back to continue the mission. They fought long and hard, but had made very little progress against the enemy's fortified position. Then, they received the call that Kyle had passed. Eager to get back to base, they called off the mission and extracted on another pair of Blackhawks. The mission was over, the compound wasn't breached, but the cost was already paid. Within hours, the Pentagon released a statement, just a name, a date, no details, no footage, but inside the special operations community, the impact was immediate because they knew who he was and what had been lost. Kyle Milliken wasn't the kind of guy looking for attention. He never had been. Born in Maine, a division track athlete, disciplined, focused, and driven. But it wasn't competition he was chasing, it was something bigger. After college, he joined the Navy, made it through BUD/S, and earned his place as a SEAL, and eventually a DevGru operator, the highest level of naval special warfare where only the best stay. He wasn't loud, he wasn't flashy, but he was relentless. A quiet professional, the kind of operator others followed without being told. A husband, a father, and a teammate. Kyle Milliken is buried at Arlington. His name lives on in the teams, in his family, in the men who served beside him. He didn't chase recognition, he didn't need it. He led from the front, and when it mattered most, that's exactly where he was. These stories aren't just about war, they're about men who walk into it knowing exactly what it cost. Kyle Milliken didn't make headlines, but he made a difference. And for the people that knew him, that's what matters. There's a lot in this life we can't control, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of noise, but there is something you can be sure of. Joshua 1 verse 9 says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Romans 10:9 says, "If you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved." If you make that prayer today, let me know down in the comment section below. I'd love to be praying for you and your family this week. But that's it for today's video. God bless you all and your families, and God bless America.